fire away.
Okay, well, thankful we got another opportunity this week to see if we can find a way to win a game. This doesn't get any easier, though. This is a good football team, similar to us. I think they're better than their record. Not much has changed when you watch NC State. They're tough, they're physical, they're aggressive, they're well coached, and really know their scheme well. Looking at the defensive side, I mean, they're an odd front, double cloud. You got to do a great job having pressure answers against these guys. Every single year we play them, whether it be in the run or the pass game. A lot of post-snap discipline, but big, strong guys up front that set the tone. Aggressive downhill linebackers. I think 11, Peyton. He's a game wrecker. He is fun to watch. I hate we got to play against him, but he's one of those guys when you watch tape, you just kind of have to just tip your hat. I mean, this is a great football player. Maybe the fastest guy on the field. I mean, he can absolutely fly, and so I just got a lot of respect for his game. He's been there a long time, so I've seen him a bunch, and I think he's a great player. Gonna have a good future after NC State as well. And they do a good job in the secondary. Again, they do a great job from a disguise standpoint with their double cloud, odd type of front. They can get to a lot of things. You've got to be ready for double cloud, and you got to be ready for cover zero at any time. They mix it up and do a really good job with that, but really not much different. Play tough, play physical. Again, well coached, where they're supposed to be, challenge you physically and schematically. And then over on the other side, new offensive coordinator, but still a lot of similarities. They're probably more 10 personnel than they've been in a long time. Mostly 10 and 11 personnel. Not as much, maybe 12 as they've been in previous years, but mostly in the past we're pretty much an 11 team. But this year it's been a lot of 10 personnel. But everything starts in the run game for them. I mean, they're physical up front, a lot of stretch. That's something they've always been committed to, and trying to split you, some stretch and some midline and some zone and swap zone, and all the boots and stuff that come off of that. You're going to see a lot of counter against these guys, and again, just big offensive linemen that can move their feet. They got 3 backs that they've been rolling in there. You've seen all of them have made plays. 28, 2, and 34. So it's a challenge, a challenging scheme that challenges our discipline. That I think they do as good a job, every year of anybody in really, schematically challenging our discipline. They've had an open date, so I'm sure there'll be a few things there that we've got that we probably haven't seen that we'll have to do a good job of. Receiver-wise, they're playing a bunch of guys. Concepcion, number 10, it seems like he's kind of been the guy that's emerged for them as kind of their top guy. But they've spread it out to a bunch of guys. But biggest thing is just trying to find a way to not let them get comfortable in the run game, and shorten the game and possess the ball. So we got to get back on track on third down. We've been a really, really good third down team all year outside of last week. So that'll be a big challenge for us, and try not to let them have any big play explosives as well. But another, good football team that I think is well coached, and kind of a typical NC State team that's aggressive and going to challenge you in all 3 phases of the game.
Speaking of getting back on track in run game, Justin Mascoll went out. Is he going to be able to go?
Not sure yet. I mean, so he's today's first day in pads, so we'll see where he is today. And I'd say he's day to day. The only guy I can say is definitely out right now is Antonio. I mean, he's going to be out for a while, unfortunately. So got him back and see what he can do. He made some nice plays, but it's not his ankle, so that's a positive. It's more of kind of underneath his toe area. So he's probably going to be a few weeks. So hopefully we'll get him back maybe the end of the season, or maybe the last couple games. I don't know. We just have to see how he responds. It'd be kind of week to week with him. And then Mickens is going to be out. He had a I don't know if anybody in here has ever had appendicitis, but he had and they had to take his appendix out yesterday. So, so that was, he just stomach ache and hurting, and he had appendicitis. So he'd be fine, but, you got to heal up from getting that taken out. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't know anybody in here has had that happen before, but that's a tough break for us there for sure. So that we'll get them ready. Those two for sure will be out, and then you still got other guys that you already know about that have been out, Cole and Walker, and then a couple other guys day to day. So we'll see.
How do you think Root and Cade filled in once Mascoll went out, and then what would be kind of the plan at safety for Mickens?
Yeah, Root did fine. I mean, they were a heavy, heavy personnel, and so we just needed to have another big end out there, and we got pretty good depth inside at D tackle, and so Root can give us some flexibility there to pop out there and give us a little bigger body against a team that playing a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of max protection, in that game. So he just gave us a bigger presence, and Cade's done fine as well, but we certainly missed Mascoll. We missed XT too. He's pretty good. So good to get him back. And so.
Given the challenges that NC State poses with the stretch and all that counters,
Yep.
Does that challenge your run fits that were that kind of were inconsistent?
Big time. Big time. Oh yeah. Yeah, these guys, like I said, they challenge you as much as anybody schematically, because it's not just they run all kind of counters. I mean, the guard tight end, the guard tackle, jet counters, and then they run the swaps, then they run the split lead. They run a little bit of that. Midline, they'll run some midline. So they do a lot of stuff, but bread and butter everything comes off that stretch, and you can get cut in half, if you're not really disciplined there. So the fits and tackling is always at a premium, but you got to do a great job of fitting it up against these guys because they force you to.
Was the issue Saturday less up front and more at the second, third levels?
Yeah, we definitely just had some bad. I mean, the first big run. I mean, that was the only play in the whole first half, and we're out of our gap. I mean, we got everybody. We had one guy run to the same gap as another guy, and they found it, and we had caught us in a bad angle on the backside, so that one hit. But they made the adjustments, and then there were some things in the second half where they created some extra bodies, and we just didn't get. Some guys trying to do too much. The biggest thing, just trying to do a little too much, and next thing you know, you're in the wrong spot. And we didn't really give up a lot of big runs, but we just, they were efficient. And next thing you know, you're 3rd and 1, and the clock, and we couldn't get off the field. That was probably the biggest problem, was we couldn't put it together. We couldn't finish. We screwed it up offensively. Defensively played really good in the first half, and then second half, couldn't get the ball. 2 drives in the third quarter in 1:20. You were asking me about tempo. It's hard to play with tempo when you don't have the ball. And you're poor in third down, right? So it was our worst third down game on both sides of the ball. And so we got to get back on track right there, for sure. And then we just got to finish. We got to finish, in position to finish. Even with all the stuff that we had, we got a 10-point lead with 8.5 minutes. We got to find a way to finish the game, and give them credit because they stayed patient, trying to shorten the game, and they were able to. And I think some of our guys got a little frustrated and trying to do too much. Next thing you know, you're not where you need to be, and it's instead of 1 yard, it's 4 yards. So something we got to learn from.
Dabo, you said you guys weren't deserving of the win on Saturday. What needs to happen this week to make you guys more deserving of a win this Saturday?
it's a simple answer. I know none of y'all want a simple answer, but it's really simple, and that is let's win the turnover margin. If we literally, I know I'm not being. I mean, we're last, dead last, and we got a really good team. But that's the. I mean, it's not that you put your head in the sand. You got other issues. Like we got a couple spots we got to do a little better. But the reason we are where we are is turnovers. I mean, we're last in the country in fumbles. And it's not only last, it's where they happen too. And as a result, we're last in red zone. We're dead last. That's your problem. And it all goes back to turnovers. You know, if you hold the ball for a millisecond longer, you know, we're having a different. We've had back 2 losses in overtime, double overtime against good teams, and it comes down to. I mean, the game really isn't complicated when sometimes you're just not good enough. You know, sometimes you just, you don't match up well or, whatever. Personnel's not good enough in some areas, but that's not our problem. I mean, we're good enough to win every single game, and we're good enough to line up and play with anybody. But it's hard to win, and it's really hard to win when you have the, catastrophic turnovers that we've had. I mean, you watched Monday Night Football last night. It was funny. They put a graphic up, and San Francisco, number 1 in the NFL, 5-1, number 1 in the league in turnover margin. The team they were playing was 2-4. Vikings, they were 2-4, and they were 29th in the league in turnover margin. So, and these are pros. So, I mean, this is, razor thin margin for error, right? Well, what happened in the game last night? San Francisco had 3 turnovers. They were -2 in the turnover margin, and they got beat. And that's good. That's what happens. There's no greater equalizer than that, and that's been a real problem for us. We're better than we were last year, for sure, without a question. But if you look back at last year, we took care of the ball better. We were number 1 in the country in red zone, I think, until maybe the last game of the season, and we were really good in third down, just like we've been really good in third down this year. We just hadn't taken care of the ball, and it's really frustrating. But and it's not. It's a simple answer. It's not a simple problem, but it's a simple answer. To kind of where we are. So to answer your question. I mean, we need to take care of the football, and if we can just squeeze it a little longer, fundamentally, protect it a little bit better. And it's not like we're throwing a bunch of interceptions. We hadn't thrown one in forever till Chappell spoke up last week. You knew that was coming. It's not like we're making a bunch of bad decisions and throwing the ball up and guys dropping balls, and it's not like that. It's just some weird stuff that's gone against us, and and it's hard to win because everybody's got good players and good coaches, and we're playing good teams. So, but that's what's put us where we are, and if we can get that turned around, we'll win some football games.
Is that tough though? Because how do you even coach that? Because obviously everybody knows you're supposed to hold on to the football. The guys aren't trying to give it away. All of the practice video I have of you guys is ball security stuff, ball cam. So how do you coach that? How do they improve on that other than holding on to the football?
Yeah, that's the main thing. You just keep coaching. You point it out. You can't work it any more than we work it. I mean, we got it all. Becky from Gaffney told me I need to give them all a ball. She's from Gaffney, right? Is it Greer? Gaffney. Yeah, Becky from Gaffney told me that I got to give them all a ball to carry around the class and sleep with it too. So maybe we'll try that. But we do everything. I mean, we video everything. It's a million ball security drills. We do that. It's just sometimes, like I said, this is a tough game. It's a tough game. And it hurts to lose any time, but when you know that you're in position to win and you're not quite finishing, you've got some self-inflicted, but you got to give the other team credit, I mean, they're working hard too, and it's just been the timeliness of some of them and how it's happened, and it's not just a sack, it's a sack, fumble, 70-yard touchdown, I mean, we've had some tough breaks there, but that's football, and we've had 12 really, really good seasons in a row around here, and we've got a lot of breaks along the way. And, sometimes the breaks don't go your way, and this is kind of where we are the first 7 games of the season, and it's why we're 4-3. And, again, it's our best players. But we've won a lot of games with these guys, too. And so you just point it out, and, you coach it. And, again, if we were making a bunch of bad decisions and things like that, it'd be different. But this is a contact collision sport, and we've got to find a way to minimize it and just win the margin. But it's been a painful process to this point.
Beyond the turnovers, in the red zone, how would you rate y'all's efficiency? It seems like there have been quite a few tackles for loss and penalties that have put y'all in some more difficult situations in the red zone.
Yep. We've had a couple ball handling issues. We had the snap. We had a couple penalties, and most of it's been on the one. That's why I was joking. Maybe we jump offside next time we're on the one and go from the 6. First and go from the 6. Try a different strategy, but I think just keeping our poise down there, and that's where you got to be at your best. And we've not been, and I think it's just a combination of all of a sudden guys start pressing a little bit, and maybe just lost a little bit of confidence from all the stuff, the miscues that we've had, and so it's one of those things that can become a little bit mental, I think, and so we got to work through that and keep working it, and we do every week, a lot of red zone, and we've got to carry what we're doing on the practice field into game day, and you just got to continue to lean on you guys and trust them and coach them and see if we can get it done.
Yeah, how's Will's arm? It looked like he kind of came off the field one time, kind of had that low, like it was a stinger or something.
Will Shipley?
Yeah.
He's fine.
You mentioned on your radio show wanting to take another step with Cade physically this offseason and weight and everything. How do you think that'll help him? And is that leading to some of the stuff now? But you saying?
Yeah, he needs to get stronger. Yeah. I mean, he's definitely need to get stronger. I mean, last year, he's, that's one of the reasons last year we were trying to kind of bring him along at a pace. You don't want to put a guy out there before he's really ready, and skill-wise, he's been ready since he got here, but physically he needed to develop a little bit, and he had a great year. I mean, he's made a lot of strides, but he needs that's a part of his process. I mean, he needs another full year of development and just getting a little bit stronger, and it's going to continue to help him. Because like I said, he's just a little more collision resistance and things like that, and so as he continues to physically develop, I think that'll help him. So he's going through a little bit of a growth process, but as I've said many times, this kid's super talented, man, and he ain't gonna forget all this. It'll make him better. We'll look back on it, and we'll be able to say, man, boy, that was a tough year. Had some tough breaks, but he's got a lot of great days ahead of him. He's got a lot of great plays ahead of him. He's gonna play football for a while, and I really love this kid. I mean, he is a ultra competitive dude, and he cares, and just gonna get better. And his miscues have kind of overshadowed his great plays. I mean, this guy's made some plays. He's made some big time plays that you just go, okay, most normal people can't do that. And so there's a lot of encouraging things, but in the midst of where we are at a place like Clemson, it's frustrating, especially when you're right there in position to win. If you weren't good enough and you're just getting your butt handed to you, it'd be different. But it's not the case.
I think you've also mentioned a couple of times on your radio shows that the pieces of the next championship team you really believe are here.
Yep.
What is it from your experience tells you, and amid what we're going through right now, that could possibly be the case? Yeah,
the maturity and the leadership of the young guys on this team. This is a good group. It's a really special group of young people that have the right mindset. They just got the right mindset, the right maturity. And it's easy. I can see it coming. I mean, I can see there's a lot of great moments ahead with the guys on this roster. My heart hurts for the guys that aren't going to get another opportunity, because they deserve it and they've worked so hard. But that's football, it's 3 phases, it's 11 guys, and you got to get it done as a team, and you're all in it together. And these guys have stayed together. That's been encouraging. It's been really good leadership from that standpoint. But we've got guys on this team that, there's some y'all already have seen, some you haven't seen yet that it's exciting. We've got a good nucleus of guys that I think are going to be like some of the best leaders that we've had come through this program when it's all said and done. I'm excited about that.
I guess who were some of those guys, the freshmen and sophomore class?
Yeah, for that whole freshman class, first of all, I think is special group. I think Cade's group is a really special group. That second year group, really special. We got top to bottom. I think we've signed a lot of great players. We got a great group in that junior group when Barrett and Jeremiah, the Makuba. We got Bo. That's a great group of guys. Brenny. There's some great guys in that group as well. Marcus Tate. And we got another great recruiting class coming in. So it's just, I just really like the foundation that we have, but it's a lot of these young guys that we've hit on, and it's easy to see that. And again, some of them y'all have seen already, and others you will see in due time. So, but the maturity, just the mentality that they approach, football with, is encouraging.
Dirty on Mickens. You say week to week with the surgery?
Yeah, it could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I don't know just how. He's just got to heal up from. He'll be, like I said, he'll be fine, but it's just got to heal up from the surgery part.
Have a little bit more on Cade. So much has been made the last few days about the 4th and 1 decision and not going with the handoff, going with the option. When you have a player like that, a leader like that, who doesn't run something as it's called, what is the conversation like with a kid like that?
Yeah, what were you thinking? Why? What happened? And you just kind of go through that process, and there's again he's one of the most compliant guys we could ever have here. It's not like he's a defiant guy. He just sometimes ball players, try to make a play, and sometimes again, just like defensively, sometimes it's no different when we got a guy that's supposed to be in this gap, but he's not in that gap because he's trying to do too much, right? So just being disciplined and just stay within the system. And he's just a guy that he just made a decision in a moment that, hey, if it worked, everybody's going, wow, but it didn't work. And, so young player that's learning, and he will learn. But you just talk it through.
So in the huddle, during the timeout, it's basically inside zone no matter what. There's no...
No, it's not. It's the play call dictates what it is. It's not, there was no read. It's a handoff.
I'm saying it's hand it off no matter what, no matter what the look they give you.
Yeah, if we'd have called it out on the 50, it's the same. You call it every time. There's nothing to read. He just made a decision, and but it's a give. You have plays in your offense where there's reads built in, and you have plays where there's no reads, and that's just a play where there's zero read. Just give the ball. And again, that's one play. You know, I mean, we can sit here and magnify that play. I know that was a critical moment, but I mean, goodness gracious, you know, we had a 3rd and 14 as well. You know, if we get a stop right there, we'd probably win the game. We needed one stop. You know, we hold on to the ball in the first quarter, we probably win the game. So I mean, there's just a few plays, and when you're in games like that, it comes down to a couple plays.
Do you ever consider going to another quarterback?
No, not at all. No, Cade's our guy for sure.
Jay Haynes had an ankle injury, I guess, a few weeks ago. Was he?
Yeah, well, he came back for was it Wake? Was it Wake game? Who's he back against? Yeah, Wake. He was coming back, or maybe it was yeah, he was back. He was back for the Wake game, and then we scrimmaged a little bit. No, he missed the Wake game. He was back for this game. He was back for the Miami game, and we did a little scrimmage. We did a little young guy scrimmage on I guess last Wednesday maybe, and he got rolled up and kind of. Actually, his ankle was okay. I think it was more his plantar fasciitis deal. So he was out. That's why he couldn't go. I hate that too, because he's a guy that really was kind of coming and was having a really good open date. And he's one of those guys I was talking about earlier that y'all don't really know much about, but we're really excited about this kid.
Is there a chance you can see Phil Mafah on the goal line some more, bigger back?
See anybody. I mean, it ain't have anything to do with it. I mean, just hang on the ball. I mean, I'll take Shipley. I'll take Mafah. I'll take either one of them. Take either one of them. No problem with either one of those guys. Phil fumbled on the goal line too, and it went 70. You know, we've done that too.
With Morris, the new quarterback, what's your evaluation of him and how much, if anything, changes?
Say that again?
MJ Morris, the new quarterback.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think, you can see why they really like him. I think he really, he's just got a great energy to him. He brings a spark. I think they just, they were having a lot of turnover issues for different reasons, and I think they just needed to make a change and get a spark there. And he brings that. I mean, he's a talented player. Like I said, it's easy to see why they like him. He's a big, strong kid. He can run. He can make the throws, and he's got an edge to him that I think the coaches probably really like. You can tell he's a good leader. Seems like the guys kind of rally around him. So I think there's a lot to like about that player, young player.
I guess with Antonio out for a little bit, how do you feel about the depth at receiver behind Tyler, Troy, and Dabo?
Well, it'd be nice if we had two starters, Cole Turner and Antonio, back, but we don't. But we do have better depth than we've had in quite a while, so that was something we were excited about coming into the season. And, so Bo's really had a good year for us. He's been really steady and consistent for us. Tyler Brown, what a great game he had the other night. I mean, made a bunch of great plays, great play in overtime. So we really like where he is. Obviously, Tink is out for the year too, so those are some guys. But, Ronan is a guy that's coming. In fact, he had a huge play yesterday. It was really good to see. But Ronan's a guy we've been bringing along. But, Stellato he's still in the training room a lot, but he's playing. He's out there, and he's made some plays for us. It was good to see Adam. You kind of got reminded of why we like Adam last week. A couple of nice plays for him. One really winning on the one-on-one coverage and got the PI, the face mask there, but. Was probably a step away from breaking the one. So it's good to see him, hopefully reset himself a little bit. And, Speck is still right there. He's been able to stay healthy, which has been good, and stay available. We've got more depth than we've had in a while. But certainly, not having Antonio and Cole is is a loss for us. I mean, there's a reason why both those guys were starters, coming into the year. But we got enough. We got plenty to be able to get the job done. Bo and Tyler and Stellato and Adam and Cole and Ronan, those 6 guys will be the ones.
How do you evaluate the offensive line depth compared to sort of what you thought going into the year?
Well, it was really good coming into the year, and then obviously losing Walker Parks early. I mean, he's a big loss as a starter, but we've been able. It's been good. We felt good about it, and Mitchell's a guy that has played well for us, but has not played well, a couple games, and so that's, for whatever reason there, just kind of got to get him back on track and kind of remind him of who he is. And sometimes guys can lose a little bit of confidence, but we've got pretty good depth. We've held up pretty good. We still feel good about the guys that we have. And again, fortunately, Walker's the only one that's had any type of long-term injury. And man, we love the guys. We love Sadler. We love Blake Miller. Those are two guys we hit it out of the park with last year that I think have got great futures here. Just one's a redshirt freshman, the other one's a sophomore starter. Marcus is having a good year for us at left guard. Man, Putnam, that guy's a war daddy. He's amazing. I love everything about him. Linthicum is willing and ready. He's kind of being mentored and tutored along with Putnam. And then Harris is a really good young player that's coming. So excited about all those guys. We're trying to redshirt Ian Reed and Zach. We like both of them on what their futures look like. Trent is another guy. I think he played maybe 10 or so snaps and did a good job the other day as well. So we've got same thing I'd say there. We've got more depth than we've had. A couple years ago we had 5 guys, and I think they played about every snap. So we got more than we've had, and but not as good as we were at the beginning of the year.
You mentioned Jeremiah's, talking in the locker room afterward. You hope that's a point for him, that's a moment for him, or maybe he becomes a little bit more vocal on this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think sometimes you those are the positives of getting into adverse situations. Sometimes for some people it brings the worst out in them, and for others it brings the best out in them. And it was really good to see, Trotter really just kind of assert himself that way. It was awesome, honestly. And so because he's not a guy that says a whole lot. He's a lead by example guy, one of the most respected guys on the team. But it was pretty awesome. And again, that's most I've heard him say since he's been here. He's just about his business all the time. You don't ever have to worry about that guy. He is a grinder, a worker. He's coachable. He loves it. Lead by example. Knows everything. But that was probably out of his comfort zone. But probably one of the better plays he's made since he's been at Clemson. It's really cool to see.
I guess we'll probably leave the contents of what he said in the locker room, but I guess was he really worked up or
No, he was very poised. I mean, he was fiery, but very poised and matter of fact and right on point.
Any questions for Coach virtually?
Hey, Dabo, David with ESPN. Sorry, this is a bit off topic, but I'm doing a story on Trevor Etienne down at Florida and his relationship with Travis and how much that's kind of meant to both of them over the years. And I know obviously Trevor was on campus with you guys a lot while Travis was there too. I don't know how much you got to know him, but when seeing Travis there through 4 years, did his relationship with his brother play into how he carried himself, how he handled himself, trying to be a role model for his younger brother?
I don't know how much the relationship with his brother played in that. I just think that Travis, that's just kind of who he is. I think he's a guy that just a relentless competitor. He was a young man with, with a lot of goals and aspirations, and I think he was driven by those things every single day. And he's just a great kid. He's just a great guy that showed up every day with a smile on his face. Those of y'all who got a chance to work with him and be around him, he just a great spirit to him. Again, a big smile. Incredible player. One of those guys that just got better and better as he went throughout his career. But I'm sure he was motivated to be a good example for all of his family. But most of all, I think he just was driven to become his best and to fulfill, the dreams that he had. And, was able to have a great career, graduate. Obviously, what he did here at Clemson and in this league is historic. And he's doing the same thing at the next level. He's just more of the same, and I would say more to come. I think he's a special player and a great, just a great young man.
Any other questions from the room? Yeah, I'll ask one more off-topic question. In the aftermath of what I imagine was pretty frustrating, I'm just curious, how much joy and pride did you take in seeing what Tony Elliott and Virginia were able to accomplish on Saturday?
Oh man, that was awesome. I actually texted him on the plane on the way back, probably about 3 a.m. I don't know what time it was or later. It was awesome. That's one of those moments. It's been a tough time. Obviously he took over a job that was struggling, and then you have the horrific tragedy that he had to walk through and lead through and help navigate through. That's just not something anybody can ever, even imagine or process. They've had some games this year where they were close and just, not a lot of room for error, but they were really close and just, learning how to win, if you will. And it was really cool. And a reminder that, this game is hard, man. This is a hard game. And, that's why I have such appreciation for winning. I have such appreciation for what's happened here over the last 12 years. It's just so hard. It's hard. It's hard to win a game. And to have the type of consistency that we've had here, we don't have a golden ticket to win. And it's hard. I have a great appreciation for it. And to see a moment like that for Tony is pretty special, because that's one of those things that can, when you're getting going, can further the buy-in from guys where they can just have something to point to. That's a big time win. But something to point to where they can just grab onto and kind of, because they still got a ways to go, but can help them have a little bit of wind in their sails to keep moving forward and just keep their head down and keep grinding. But it was awesome and really happy for him and their whole team.
You guys are on the CW network for the first time this weekend. Any experience with that channel? It's a new one with the new.
I have no idea what it is. I don't even know where it's at. Is it? Where do I go to it?
I think it's 62.
Okay, channel 62.
Use rabbit ears.
Rabbit ears. I've got. Where is it on the guide on DirecTV? I've got DirecTV. Oh, that's where it's at. Okay. 62, all right?
It's the one that has Dawson's Creek.
Also the home of the live tour.
Okay. Yeah. Was that Raycom?
Yeah, it's Raycom sublease stuff to this one.
That was Raycom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV, honestly. So, I'll watch sports. I watch Beth on the news regularly. I DVR that, never miss that. Highlights of my week. But yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know who's doing the game.
It's on RB James Bates, Trevor Skates.
Oh, Bates is doing the game? I like him. He's a good guy. Who are the others?
Tom Wormey's play-by-play, and Trevor Skates sideline.
Okay. Yeah. We have not had them yet, so it's a 2:00 game too. That's kind of a. We've had, what was it, Charleston Southern? Are we 2:15 this week too? Okay, 2:00. Yeah, so it's Charleston Southern. That was kind of a, I've done a gajillion schedules and itineraries, and you got all these routines. 8:05, 3:30, 3:00. Noon. I've done them all. I mean, we've had some crazy times, but two's a little different because kind of your breakfast, your pregame meal. There's just some different routine. So I kind of like it though, honestly. I mean, we got back about. I guess I got to the house about 6 a.m. and. Sunday's still the same day, whether you get in at 6 a.m. or you go to bed at 11 o'clock the night before. It's the same day for us. So we should get home earlier than that, Lord willing. So that's a positive.
What did you say? What Mascoll's injury is?
What's his injury? I did not.
And you won't.
And I'm not. He's just day to day. He's a little banged up.